That's when the signal shines in. Got the mic set up and the camera spin. Grab a coffee, pull up your chair, join the drive. 'Cause the only place to be on a Monday night at 9 is right here, alive. We're drilling down deep on the legend of fur, the biggest mystery ever did stir. It's Sasquatch Watch Radio. Tune into the same with Gary Kendrick hosting with King. He's heard the howls, he's caught the form's trace, a true seeker leading the chase. Something stirs out in the shadowy wood. Let's uncover it together, just like we should. The team is geared up, the map is laid clear. We bring expert voices where the facts appear. We feature top names on this digital plane, from Meldrum's big theories to Strange Rich Strain. With Lyle Blackburn and Scott Violet online, we chase the elusive one sighting at a time. It's Sasquatch Watch Radio. Tune into the screen with Gary Kendrick, host of the scene. He's heard the howls, he's seen the dark form, a true eyewitness leading the storm. Something is lurking out in the dark wood. Let's find it together, just like we should. We give you the legends, the truth laid raw, and a unique track for the tale of the law. So subscribe to the channel, heed the lead. We're planting knowledge, pulling up the weed. Yeah, Monday night, 9 Eastern, YouTube Live. Sasquatch Watch Radio, where the quest thrives.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Sasquatch Watch Radio. It is a cold and snowy January the 26th of 2026. I'm Gary Kendrick. Our guest is running a little bit late tonight. We'll try to get to him as quick as he can get logged on. In the meantime, just wanted to give everybody a little bit of free, friendly advice. It's currently 9 degrees where I'm at right now, with a feels like of -6. And, you know, winter months seems like a good time to be out looking for evidence, fresh tracks, you know, things like that. But with that being said, you should prepare. You should be ready for it. Have the proper equipment, boots, clothing, gloves, food and water with you, things to make a fire if something was to happen. Be prepared. You know, I think it was in 2024 or maybe 2025, we lost 2 researchers in a snowstorm in Washington. So let's all, you know, use our heads a little bit and be cautious out there. Anybody in the chat, if you've got any questions or anything you want to talk about while we're waiting on the guest, feel free to chime in. We can see what's going on. The guest we're supposed to have tonight is an eyewitness who had a sighting in 1985 in the Shenandoah Valley. So this should be a pretty good one. Yeah, Digger Dog, I'm trying to stay warm. It's pretty cold. I had a rough time feeding our animals this evening. It was pretty rough. Everybody's water was frozen. It was pretty rough. Any questions from anybody? Anything y'all want to talk about? Just put it in the chat and we'll go with it. Digger Dog said the water being froze was expected. Yeah, with as cold as it is, it's been pretty rough. We got really lucky here. They had projected over a foot of snow, and it snowed, and then we had probably about a quarter inch of snow, and then that was Saturday evening, and then sometime Saturday night it started sleeting, and we got about a quarter inch of ice on top of it. And then when I woke up Sunday morning, it was raining. And it wasn't freeze rain, it was just straight rain, and it had melted off all the ice and everything else, and I was kind of glad of that. But somewhere about 8 o'clock last night, it started snowing again. So we got probably about an inch on the ground right now, and things are froze up. Roads are in pretty rough shape right now. The ice can be worse. Snow you can get traction on with four-wheel drive if you take your time. Ice, no hope. No hope at all. Been quite a few accidents, and it seems like there's been a lot of pretty rough stuff going on as far as EMS and fire goes. We had a tragedy here in my county. We had a fire that happened on Friday evening, and it claimed the lives of 2 teenage children. It's a tragedy. It's a tragedy. David has a good question right here. I wonder how it's affecting Bigfoot. It's a pretty good question. With that being said, I think, David, it depends a whole lot on shelter, what type of shelter they're using, where they're sheltering at. If it's underground or in a cave or something like that, it maintains about 50-some degrees. So that wouldn't be too bad on them. But now I don't think they would be sheltering out in the open with temperatures like this and snow and ice and everything else. With that being said, too, it probably makes it quite a bit easier for them to forage for meat supply when it's cold like this, because everything's bedding down. It might make it a little bit easier for them to sneak up on something. So, that's a good question. Then again, too, when the weather's bad, they may migrate to different areas. I'm kind of a believer in both migration and home range. I think they have a huge home range. And within that home range, I believe they migrate to different areas within that home range and go to places where, resources may be easier to, get a hold of. Like during a bad snowstorm, if it's really bad up on the top of the mountains, they may be moving further down into the valleys where it's not as cold. That's one thing, too. A lot of new researchers especially don't realize for every 1,000 feet of elevation that you gain, you lose 3 degrees in temperature. Prime example would be, if it's 40 degrees at the base of the mountain, by the time you get a couple thousand feet up on that mountain, you're down into the 30s and could experience, snow and everything else. And that doesn't seem like a whole lot when you really think about it, 1,000 feet, but it makes a big difference. Makes a huge difference. I don't believe that Sasquatch uses fire. I don't know if they do. It's interesting. I don't see them using fire as a way of staying warm or cooking their food or anything like that. I think they're more primitive than that. Maybe more animalistic. Yeah, Ray Mosley said sometimes you lose more than degrees. That's true, depending on it's wind, precipitation, or anything. Uh, it's funny where I live at. Uh, when the weather is dry, there's no rain or anything like that. You can't hear the train that runs in the next town over. But when it's raining, you can hear the train. So I guess the sound travels better when it's a little bit of humidity in the air. But now when it's cold like this, there's not a lot of humidity. Ray, I believe you're from down in Kentucky, if I'm not mistaken. What's the weather like over there? I know Virginia's been hit pretty hard with this cold snapping weather. Pete Wilson, all the way up in Montana. Pete, I bet you're froze to death up there, pal. Ray Mosley from Nate.
Ah, yeah, that back door was open again.
Keep her unlocked, buddy, just in case you got the urge.
Sometimes it happens. I just thought I'd give everybody an update. He is logged into Facebook. I'm trying to figure out if he's having trouble logging in. So, trying to do technical work here in the background.
Children, let's all thank God for Billy because I can't do the technical stuff. I am not tech savvy.
Just takes a
Pete says it's actually warm.
Actually warm? Goodness sakes.
It's actually nice for this time of year in Montana.
Yeah, that's unusual.
I've heard there's only 3 seasons in Montana. You have mud, or you have snow, mud, and then dust. That's it.
Oh, man. Hey, David, good to see you, man. Yeah, it's we're not as cold as you are, Gary. We're at 13 degrees, but I know we got more snow than you all did down there. We got somewhere around, I don't know, 8 or 9 inches, but 4 inches of that on the top is like ice. Because we got that freezing stuff after the snow. So
I kept hearing this weird noise the other day while it was raining. It was like a bonk, bonk. I couldn't figure out what was going on. I kind of went outside and looked, and everything that was froze to the power lines where it was raining was falling off, and them lines were shaking.
Yeah, see, that's what we were worried about. If we would have got that stuff and it gets on them lines, that's when you have all the power outages.
Now, Saturday evening, we had about a 1/4 inch of ice from sleet and stuff like that. Right before we went to bed Sunday evening or Saturday evening, our ramp was impassable. You couldn't walk down the ramp.
No way.
Yeah, it's bad. I tried to keep the sidewalk salted up, but you can't put that snow melt on a wooden ramp if you plan on keeping it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, 32 degrees. That's like a global warming up there, Pete.
God, I never thought I'd say I'd swap weather with somebody in Montana, but right now I believe I would.
All right. Yeah.
15 degrees in Kansas, Sasquatch says.
Yep. Kansas City.
Kansas is another place, man. It gets pretty chilly at times, especially with the wind blowing through there.
17 on Long Island.
Well, I would have never thought. Come on up, he says. No.
Yeah, I mean, here so far in the chat, you know, Pete, you're looking more like Florida.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding.
14 and
Everybody's
PA.
in the teens. 14 Pennsylvania, he says.
Here, let me look at my favorite destination. Let me see here, because I got them on my app so that I can always see the temperature if I want to get jealous. Key Largo, 70 degrees. Down in the Florida Keys. That's where I need to be right now.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding.
All right, so I guess we'll see if he comes on here, but I guess we can give everybody a little bit of a rundown of his sighting if you wanted to.
Yeah, let me pull it up here.
At least that way we can let them know who was coming on and what his story was. I mean, it's only part of the story, but yeah, it's same thing here. January, February is always the worst 2 months. But I try to remain positive and say, you know what, spring's only 50 some days away.
Yeah, that's true. And I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm thankful that we got that rain, because if all of that had been snow, boys, we'd have been in trouble.
Yeah.
We'd been in trouble.
Yeah.
Our guest is Dale. He's from the Shenandoah Valley here in Virginia. He's 56. And he grew up on his grandparents' farm, and they had about 2,200 acres and ran a sawmill. He was an outdoorsman. Said his granddad had took him hunting ever since he could remember. Started hunting on his own when he was around 10 years old. By the time he was 15, he'd killed everything in the mountains: bobcats, black bear, turkey, foxes, coyotes, big bucks, the whole deal. Knew the mountains like the back of his hand. On his 15th birthday, his granddad had got him a new gun. It was a rifle with a scope. And I'm here to tell you what, that's a big deal for a country boy. When you get your first rifle with a scope, it is a big, big deal. Hunting season was in. He couldn't wait to get up and go the next morning to go hunting. Said he knew the perfect place. It was at a creek bottom. He was walking up into the place right at daylight. He was watching, and he began to hear breaking brush, leaves crackling, sounds almost like a log rolling down the hill. He's up on the side of the ridge and was walking along the embankment to his right. Very thick bottom. That's where the noises were coming from. So he stopped to listen. And he said he could tell whatever it was walking. And I could hear it getting closer, walking up the side where he was at. Positioned himself behind a tree and was going to watch where the noise was coming from. Heard it making all kinds of racket as it started up the side. First thing that he noticed was a buck with small horns being carried. The head is sticking up out of the thick brush as it walked up the hill. It came up out of the underbrush, and he could see something was carrying the deer on its shoulder. He walked up onto the trail about 30 yards from where he was at. And with his new gun, he pointed the gun at it and looked through the 9-power scope, which that brings it in pretty close. That 9 periscope at 30 yards. Said to his surprise, it looked like a man in a gorilla suit. See, it was 1985. There was no internet. Never heard of Bigfoot or Sasquatch. And he put his gun down and hollered and said, hey, that's a good way to get shot, carrying a deer like that. He said it stopped and whipped its head towards him. It still had the deer on its shoulder, and it was looking at him. And he said it was looking at him from underneath its elbow, from where it was carrying the deer. Put the scope up, could see it again. Said he could see its eyes and had long teeth. He could tell that there was a line between the black and the brown on its face, and it was staring right at him. And he said it seemed to change its, I guess, kind of attitude. He said, I knew the thing knew I had a gun, and his facial expression went from amen to don't shoot me. It was like reading each other's mind. He said he put down the gun, and that thing turned and crossed and walked up over the next ridge.
Now, we've heard stories like that before. I've heard of people having Bigfoot sightings with a deer up over its shoulder. We've heard of down like in Texas, with a hog up over its shoulder. So we know, it's pretty obvious that these things, eat deer and hog and whatever else they can get.
Yeah, they're fairly predatory, I believe, Billy. That's kind of like my own opinion. There's several videos that, which a video or a photo, you can kind of take it or leave it, because I don't really understand what the perspective was of the person that was taking the photo or the video. I may not necessarily see what they saw in the photo or the video, but there's several videos where you can see like a dark form and like thick underbrush moving around looking like maybe from an ambush site. Right. And that is anybody that's out there that knows anything about predatory animals. Yeah, Ray, 100% they're predatory. Anything that knows anything about predatory animals, their favorite position is an ambush position. And it makes a lot of sense when you think about it, because if you're living strictly off of what you can catch and gather, you have to burn as few calories as possible to catch and gather these things in order to maintain your health. If it's going to cost you more calories than it is to catch something, it's probably not worth it. Yeah, and any leftovers, that's true, Sasquatch. Hey, we've heard all kinds of stories about raiding trash dumpsters, campsites, anything like that.
Yeah, they're definitely opportunists. Sure. I really think they're opportunists. They'll take whatever opportunity they can get.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I think actually their pattern of behavior is very similar to that of the North American black bear. And, we've had that discussion several times about, population. They say for like every 100 black bears, there's one Sasquatch. Or I don't remember. Dr. Meldrum was on the show one time, and his estimate was way higher than that. I think what he said, for like every 10 black bear, there might be one Sasquatch.
No, I think it was lower. I think he had a lower number. For some reason, I'm remembering like for every 4. But I'd have to go back and listen to the show.
Yeah. And if that's the case, if it's one Sasquatch for every 4 black bear, there are thousands of Sasquatch right here in Virginia.
Right.
because we've got a good number of black bears built up now. Real big number.
Yeah, I know a lot of the skeptics or critics like to think that, there's no way something that large can live in the woods, and but the fact is it is being seen. I mean, people are reporting seeing it, number one. And then number two, I mean, how often do you see a bear when you're walking down a trail? I mean, a bear is just about the same size, except it's down on all fours. They got plenty of area. And let's face it, they're likely not hanging along the Appalachian Trail.
No,
they're deep in the forest. They're somewhere where they're not going to be. Now, I think when they are seen, I think it's during a time when they've, for whatever reason, had to search for food or search for water or search for something. And I think it's probably more accidental than it is anything.
Yeah, and most sightings, especially like roadway sightings or even like my own sighting, I think it's a transient animal moving between, like you said, a feeding area, a water source or something like that, back to like a bedding area. And anybody that's a hunter knows if you know where something's feeding at, drinking at, and sleeping at, you can find them. You can cross them.
Yep. See what we got here.
Let's see. I think that the ambush is why sometimes smell like something dead, scavenging. Yeah, that's true. Another thing too on that, Ray, about the smell, I think some of it may come from just like natural behaviors. Not every sighting has a smell. My sighting, I didn't smell anything. And two, it could just be that, look, you got to be honest. More than likely, it's going to smell. Every animal has a smell. You take a person and put them in the woods and they live there full time, they're going to have an odor for real. And I think that either it's some type of scent gland or something that they mark themselves with, or like mating or a territorial thing. It could be body odor. It could be like chimpanzees participate in a urine bath. They'll actually cover themselves in their own urine as a way of attracting a mate. So it could be something like that. You never know. And I've read probably one of the most horrifying bear encounters I ever read was a man was attacked by a black bear. And the black bear actually had this man's head in its mouth. And he said as the bear was biting down, you could hear the bones in his skull breaking. And he said, as much as it hurt, and he said, as much as the sound of my own bones breaking bothered me, he said the smell of rotting meat coming off that thing's breath was probably the worst part of it.
So I take it he lived to talk about it.
Yeah, oh yeah. And if it hadn't have been for his hunting buddy, I don't remember if his hunting buddy. I read this in like a Field and Stream magazine years ago.
Yeah.
And I don't remember if it was his brother or brother-in-law or some family member actually shot the bear. And that's what saved his life.
Yeah.
And too, that being said, animals are really adaptive. Alaska is a good example with these big brown bears. When they hear a shot, they actually run towards that shot to try to steal, the kill away from the human. So that could be, especially during hunting seasons, they could be picking up deer that somebody shot or anything else.
Yeah. We'll see if I can find that story.
I can't remember which guest we had on, but they talked about they found animals that had been half eaten, like squirrels and rabbits and things, and they'd been peeled back. He said like Snickers bars, like you'd peel the wrapper back off of a Snickers bar,
Oh, wow.
And he said he thought that they was eating those smaller animals while they was observing the house where these people lived.
Yeah. So here's what I found, Gary. It says there are actually several legendary stories from Field and Stream regarding near fatal bear encounters. It says because the magazine's been around for over a century, the bear attack is almost its own genre for them. The most famous one that fits the description is likely The Grizz That Stopped My Heart, or one of the entries from their long-running A Sportsman's Life or Survival columns. So it looks like they've mentioned 3 of them here. One of them's called the Chase Delwo story in 2015.
That could be it.
It says this is one of their most read digital stories. Chase Delwo was hunting elk in Montana with a bow when he was charged by a 400-pound grizzly. It says he survived by remembering a tip his grandmother seen in a magazine. He shoved his arm down the bear's throat. This triggered the bear's gag reflex, giving him just enough time to escape. So that must not be the one.
No, But I believe it was.
That's an interesting story, though.
I believe that was from the Sportsman's Tales or something like that.
Yeah, it says it's where'd it go? I saw it. Yeah, Sportsman's Life.
Yep.
And then there's the Dan Bigley encounter. Dan Bigley, who survived a horrific grizzly attack while salmon fishing in Alaska. This story is particularly famous because it was a nightmare scenario. The bear attacked him in the twilight, and he survived despite catastrophic injuries to his face. That might be the one.
Now, I'm pretty sure these guys were hunting because his brother-in-law or somebody shot it, and I may have the wrong man. This has been years ago that I've read this.
Yeah.
And I hate to be, as much as I read, things get muddled.
And then Field and Stream, let's see. They frequently featured Greg Hamilton, who was attacked by a grizzly in 2003 while elk hunting. Todd Orr, who famously survived 2 attacks by the same grizzly on the same day and posted a video of it. That would be a good one.
I wonder if that's the same Tom Orr that was on Mountain Men.
I don't know. Good question. But that's some interesting stories.
I did go through some of the books that I have acquired over the years, and I came up with this one. And that's Sasquatch Bigfoot by Don Hunter with Renee DeHinden.
Oh.
That's an old one.
Yep.
This one's the revised edition from 1993. I believe it was originally copyrighted in 1973.
Okay. Oh, that'll be good, David. He said the old TV show Sightings will be returning in 2027.
That was actually a pretty good show, David. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. I've been watching the Monster Quest episodes they've been bringing on.
I haven't had a bit of luck getting those. I don't know what day they come on, and I've missed them. I always enjoyed Monster Quest too. That was always one of my favorites.
Yeah, and I usually we don't watch it the day it comes on. We watch it on the whatever you call it, the Roku stick.
Yeah,
comes on the History Channel, and then they have it in that list. So my favorite show to watch on there, though, is The Curse of Oak Island. I everybody complains because all they find is wood, but when you're finding wood at depths like that, guys, that's not normal.
No. And I had I don't remember what I did with my phone right here. I had a strange little thing that come up. I'd seen a video and I clicked on it to watch it, and that may have been a mistake because I'm bad for stuff like that. but it was, I swear, as bad as my eyes are getting, I'm going to have to lay this thing on the floor to see it. Now I got to find my glasses. I spent half my life looking for my glasses. Anyway, the gist of it was the video showed a fossilized dinosaur footprint with what appeared to be a human footprint inside of it.
Oh, really?
So the dinosaur looked like the dinosaur had taken a step, and then there was a human footprint, which, you know, I kind of had my doubts about that. Lost World Museum, I think, was the name of it.
Okay.
And they listed the reason the footprint was not faked by carving it is because the mud was pushed in and up from the dinosaur track into the human track. So I don't necessarily think it's a human that was standing beside the dinosaur. I think it may have been maybe some type of pre-human or something, some type of ape. You know, a lot of people are onto this fossil thing now. Why don't we have any fossils of Bigfoot? And why aren't we finding any fossils of Bigfoot and things like that? I'll just give an example. And I've studied this. I've read up on it quite a bit. But a chimpanzee is a known species. And there are several subspecies of chimpanzees. Some of them are larger, some of them are smaller. But as it stands right now in the fossil record, they have one partial skull fossilized of a chimpanzee species and 3 teeth. And they don't even know if the teeth go with the skull or not. So, I mean, I'm sure there's evidence somewhere of, you know, what Sasquatch was, what it's kind of developed into. I know a lot of people says, "Oh, you're a believer," and I'll just be honest with you. No, I don't believe. I know I saw it.
Right, you saw one, so it makes it a little bit different.
Yeah, I'm outside of the believing thing. I'm more into the questioning. You know, what have I seen? How can we prove it? I take a lot of heat sometimes over Sasquatch. So, you know, it don't really bother me. But, you know, that's one of them things, you know, I saw what I saw. There was somebody with me that saw it.
Yeah.
You know, I know what it is. I just, you know, don't know how I'm going to ever prove it or, you know. And like I said in a couple episodes here lately, without some serious scientists on our side, you know, we don't have any hope of proving it.
Right.
You know, no matter what we do, as you know, a lot of people say, "Oh, we're citizen scientists." Yes and no. You know, without, and I say it all the time too, without those initials behind your name, you know, no matter what you find, you know, it's always going to be questioned.
Yeah.
A lot of people say that, you know, Sasquatch can't be a terrestrial being. It can't be from Earth. It's either interdimensional or extraterrestrial. I don't necessarily agree with that, but I'm open-minded enough to listen to it, to try to hear what they have to say. As far as it not being a terrestrial animal, you know, we'll just, as an example, there's a mammal on Earth that its skeleton looks like it's part mammal and part reptile. It lays eggs. It's a mammal. It lays eggs and its young hatches from eggs. And it doesn't have mammary glands. It actually sweats a milk from its pores, and its young drinks that milk from those pores, and it's a platypus.
Mm.
And it's also the only venomous mammal that I know of. I think maybe there's a monkey too that might be venomous, and I don't remember now. But a platypus grows 2 spines. A male platypus does on its back legs,
Right.
and it has poison sacs on those poison glands on those spines, so it can inject you with some poison. Let's see. Ray says I don't listen to. Bring that one up. Ray says I don't listen to naysayers. I do paranormal encrypted hunting. I've seen enough to know that there's a lot more than science and mainstream will acknowledge. Yeah, that's true. It's true. I see something here at my house pretty regularly during the summers and sometimes in the fall. And it's a bird. It's some type of large avian. And it looks like a black vulture, which is very common here in Virginia. We have 2 types of vultures. We have black vultures and turkey vultures. But it's like maybe 2 or 3 times the size of a black vulture. It's huge. Its wingspan is probably over 8 feet long. And it has the bald head and neck like a vulture, but around the base of its neck, there's like a fluffy ring of feathers. And the vultures around here don't have that. Now, I don't have a clue what it is.
Yeah.
My wife thinks I'm crazy, but I see it pretty regular.
She thinks you're crazy for that, not Bigfoot.
Oh, yeah, she thinks I'm crazy over that, too.
Okay.
Just in general, she thinks.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pete's talking about the orbs. I'll just tell you right now, with that being said, Pete, I can't say that that's actually associated with Bigfoot. And with that being said, too, I can't actually say that that's not associated with Bigfoot. I don't have a clue what it is. Pete, after 13 years to figure out what that was. And
yeah,
no answer.
That's one of them things I stay away from.
I really think that it may be, and this is going to sound weird, an energy release from all the quartz that's in that area. Because everybody that I've talked to that's had some type of orb sighting like that, Pete, has been in an area where there's a lot of quartz. And Pete said he's never seen him anywhere else, and David says his wife thinks he's crazy too.
Oh, good, David. You haven't been excluded then.
Yeah, don't feel like the Lone Ranger, pal. I say it all the time. It's all fun and games so that Jasper walks across the road in front of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd always kind of believed in it because we grew up watching In Search of and all those things. And I can remember watching, I think it was the docudrama Sasquatch that come on from back in the 70s. And
oh, yeah. That's that one where that narrator's got that voice that was in just about every documentary.
Oh, yeah. Had the Indian guy with him named Tekka, I think was his name. I watch that. I pull that up and watch it every now and then.
Yeah.
I mean, it's in 1970s cheesy, but it was actually, pretty good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't know if he's having issues or what it is, but like I say, I've been watching him coming on and off of Facebook. He's not answering me. I've asked him if he's having trouble logging on. He's not answering me, but I can see when he's active. So I don't know. Not sure. Can't answer that question. I don't know. Maybe he got nervous. Whatever. It's fine. And we got the story out there. So we'll just have to leave it at that.
Yep.
It's not the first time it's happened.
No, not the first time in recent history either that it's happened.
So we apologize to all of our listeners. You know, some of these things are out of our control. So, but it does upset me because I made a Nashville style song for this guy, and I mean it was a good one too. I know we say they're all good, but this one I have to say I knocked it out of the park. Oh man. Oh well. What do you do?
Well, you know, that's it.
So you might have some guests, you said, coming up, right?
Yeah. Let me pull this up here. Two of the people that I've got coming up, I've got. I'm gonna try to get a hold of Mike Quast. He's an author. He's written several books on Sasquatch. That'll probably have to be a recorded episode because he works. And if anybody has listened to the Sasquatch Chronicle show, any has heard of Sarah Brown. She's on the Brown property in Washington State. And I'm going to try to have Sarah on the 9th of February. And I'd like to see if we can get David or Mike Quast, get his on the 2nd.
Perfect.
But things may change. You never know.
Yep.
We'll try to get them on. If anybody out there knows of anybody that might want to come on the show, send me a message. I'm on Facebook, Gary Kendrick. You can send me an email, GaryKendrick@yahoo.com. You can contact us on our Sasquatch Watch Radio page, or you can contact us at our website, squatchradio.com.
Yep.
We've got a new.
We have a QR code for that too. Here, let me switch that QR code.
We can throw that one up too. Squatch Radio.
All right. So I just changed the QR code up there in the top left corner. If you scan that with your phone, it'll take you straight to our website. So I'll leave that up there for a few seconds. That's one
if
way.
Anybody out there, if anybody out there has had a sighting and would like to, report their sighting, we have a new sighting report on squatchradio.com. You can get on there and fill that out. And we've got researchers all over the U.S. that we can get in touch with that can help you out.
Yep, that's several different ways you can get a hold of us. Several different ways here. There's the YouTube channel. There's Gary's direct Facebook profile. That's my direct Facebook profile. And then, of course, that's our email address if you want to email us. So that way there's several different ways to get a hold of us. All right. And then, like I say, that QR code that's up right now is for the website. And this QR code is to subscribe to the YouTube channel. So that way you got all the contacts that you need. And we ask people, kind of spread the news, help us to spread the news. One thing I've noticed is that a lot of Facebook groups have stopped allowing podcast advertisements. And the reason I know that is because I do it a lot. So a lot of those have shut down where they're not allowing podcasts to be advertised. So it helps if you all can just kind of spread it word of mouth. It really helps to get more listeners in here, because the more listeners we have, the more exciting it is, because we get to see your messages. That way you can, we love it when our listeners cooperate and, give us feedback and stuff like that. And we like to put it up, kind of make it an interactive show. That way it's not just us talking, it's you guys talking too. So.
And, that's the thing too. The show is not for me. It's not about me. The show is for you guys that are watching. It's all about you guys that are watching that want answers, that have something interesting to say. And I'm going to be honest, Billy, we get a ton of good questions off the chat.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I've always been impressed with the listeners that we have here that come up with some really good questions.
And, another thing, too, that I want to bring up before we go is that the podcast is about Sasquatch. It's a no drama. There's no judging, no nothing. I'm not the type of person that I'm not cornered into one thing. I believe what I believe, but like I'm open-minded enough that I will listen to whatever you have to say and take it at face value because that's what you saw. I wasn't there. I wasn't present, just like, with my encounter. Nobody that watches the show was present then, so that's what I'm saying. Come on, we'll talk about it. We'll discuss it. It's judgment-free. It's drama-free. You can come on and we'll discuss it. I'm good with it.
All right.
And I guess with that being said, we'll go ahead and end the show here, I guess. Sorry about that, everybody. Things happen. It's beyond our control.
Yep.
Yeah. But everybody stay warm. Stay inside. It's bad out. Roads here are horrible. Roads here are absolutely horrible. So you guys stay warm and stay safe and have a good rest of the week. And with that, we'll talk to you guys later. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Sasquatch Watch Radio. We are incredibly grateful for our community. Because of you, we've surpassed 6,700 subscribers and continue to grow every day. Our mission here at STVUR is simple: to provide a platform for honest, down-to-earth discussions about Bigfoot, free from drama and ridicule. If you've enjoyed the show, please help us spread the word. If you're interested in being a guest, you can reach us via our Facebook page, our YouTube channel, or by emailing us at sasquatchwatchradio@gmail.com. Be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube to access our full archive dating back to 2008 and to stay updated on all upcoming episodes. If you've had a sighting or an encounter you'd like to report, let us know. We have a network of researchers across the United States ready to assist. You can now find us on YouTube, Facebook, and Rumble. Please leave us a comment and let us know what topics you'd like to hear next. We'll see you next Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. Until then, keep on squatching.